Hi, it's Adrian Bowe here, and I'm honoured to be joined by Farah, one of our co-founders, and we're here to talk about the November sales wrap for our business, and what a great month it was. It started with an incredible initiative from the RBA to reduce interest rates, or the cash rate if you like, to 0.1%, literally record lows, Glenn, and then the talk of stamp duty being altered and potentially changed, which hasn't happened in 60 years or so, and I think that's definitely going to help the property market, and we've seen both of those initiatives already filter through to the marketplace.
Absolutely, Adrian. 2020, we're not going to forget this year too quickly. It's been a year of changes, but highlighting November, we've gone from strength to strength.
Absolutely, and we've seen $62 million worth of sales within our business, which is outstanding. The best part of that is that we've delighted many buyers and sellers and helped them move on to the next stage of their lives. And we've also seen just under 100 leases being signed as well, Glenn, which also helps our community in terms of moving forward, especially during a year where there's been so much interruption and distraction, and people were really quite paralysed in what they could do with their lives in terms of that transition phase. So it's great to see the lubrication and the wheels churning again in the property market.
The property market is such an important part of our economy, and I believe that the Morrison government is relying on a property-led recovery, and that's already happening. I believe technically we're out of recession, so we've bounced straight back, but property is underlying, and the areas that we're working in, the eastern suburbs and the southeastern region of Sydney, well, it's very, very strong at the moment. Potential vendors, potential buyers who are looking to get into the market. It's not easy for buyers to get into the market. Some of the vendors are getting some fabulous results, and today we're going to highlight our core suburbs and really go through those critical sales that people need to know about in November. And we've made quite a few. And why don't we go straight to Coogee, Adrian? I know that's a favourite suburb of yours, and you seem to be doing quite a bit of business down in Coogee.
There was one there which my team was responsible for, which was 5 at 19 Alexander Street, Coogee. Now that falls into the category of a passed-in auction. Now, not everything's perfect, not everything sells at auction, but the highest bid on that one at auction was 1,470, and the beautiful thing for the vendor was we waited an extra 14 days and got 1,525. So it goes to show that even though clearance rates at or before auction are sitting at 70%, what we're finding within our sales team is 4 weeks post-auction, our clearance rate, if you could call it that, is really at around 95 to 98% 4 weeks post-auction, which are very encouraging numbers, and it still shows that auction is still the most efficient and effective way to sell property, whether it's before, after, or on the auction day itself.
On the day. Experience counts, and hats off to you. I was at that auction, and at 1,470, I thought that was fair money. But in your wisdom, you recommended your vendor, and the vendor obviously listened to your advice. The bottom line, you got the vendor an extra $55,000, and that's experience, Adrian. So obviously Coogee is one of our core markets. I'm going to look at Maroubra, and Maroubra is also one of our really strong markets. We had a townhouse down at 22 of 5 Bay Gardens. We were in conjunction with First Hand on that one. I was the selling agent for that property. It sold on the day for $1,865,000. That's a record for the complex, for a 3-bedroom strata townhouse. That's great for anyone who's living in that complex, who's living in a semi or a unit in Maroubra. That's really good news to know that that townhouse, originally bought off the plan, in 1997 for $450,000, now transacting just under $2 million. Also, Dave Lee and Joe Recep, they had an exceptional sale down in South Maroubra in Portland Crescent. Again, not an easy sale to make down at South Maroubra. It sold for $2,250,000. It was on the market for about 6 to 7 weeks, but they got that exceptional price. And last but not least, Cameron who is down at 11 of 36 McKean Street at Maroubra Beach, 1 bedroom unit transacting for $900,000. That shows you that just under $1 million you have to pay for a 1 bedroom. So Maroubra, another very, very strong suburb. Some great results for the Farah team in there.
And Joe Recep's team was very fortunate in selling a couple of brand new duplex or townhomes, if you like, either side of $2 million in Ocean Street in Pagewood, which is a great location, a very understated and underrated suburb, Pagewood, in my opinion, Glenn, and certainly some growth expectations to be foreseen in that particular precinct.
For sure. Pagewood is a suburb that, it connects Maroubra. Also, it's surrounded by golf courses, but more importantly, access into the city is really, really easy. Apart from Joe Recep's sales down in Ocean Street, we've got to remember on those duplexes, land size is under 200 square metres. So to get 2.1 for 54A Ocean Street, that's a massive result. Just up the road, Dave Lee sold a block of land, old rundown home with structural damage, and sold that prior to auction, exceptional price for $1.9 million. So Pagewood's really performing well on the back of Maroubra. Plenty of buyers who can't get into Maroubra are now looking at Pagewood and saying this is affordable, great family suburb, and it is an option for people to live in.
Absolutely. So in summary, what our observation of the market in the eastern suburbs, Glenn, is that housing is performing incredibly well. In fact, I would back myself and say that the housing prices today are the highest they've ever been in recorded history, because if you look at the most recent boom, which was October, November last year in 2019, we're higher than that at post-COVID prices. The 2017 boom, we're higher than that. The 2014 boom, we're higher than that. So I would say we're at actual record highs in terms of housing. Apartments have stabilised. Obviously yields are down. COVID has affected the rental market, and for people looking to buy an investment property, they used to enjoy 5 or 6% yield on most apartments. At the moment, that's down to about 2%. So that's going to take a little bit of time to recalibrate. Now, the good news with the eastern suburbs property market is its resilience. And you and I, Glenn, showing our age, have got the battle scars of the GFC, 9/11 and the early 90s recession. We've seen the market bounce back time and again. So I think that you're going to start to see those yields improve and those rents improve, which we're already noticing anecdotally. I think 6-12 months is really the maximum time period that you're going to start to notice that type of growth again in apartments as well, and that confidence in construction and project marketing.
And on the flip side of that, that's advantage buyer. So any buyers out there or investors out there who are thinking, I'm really looking for an apartment, now's the time to get into the apartment market. As Adrian said, he believes it's a 6 to 12 month recovery. So at the moment, we believe for buyers, the best part of the market to buy in is apartments. You're getting great value. Your returns aren't as high as they probably would have been 1 or 2 years ago, but the borders will open back up again. The state borders have just opened up. This is a time issue. Australia is performing better than any country in the world in terms of how we've managed COVID. That is having a direct effect on our economy. People are confident, people are travelling. So it's really good to be in Australia at the moment. And one of the great things about our economy right now is everyone that was travelling overseas. $65 billion was spent overseas last year by Australians. Guess what, Adrian? That money's staying in the country in 2020 and 2021 likely. So all good things are positive on the economic front. The real estate market is strong. As Adrian said, he believes it's at its strongest point for houses and for semis. Farah's, from all the way to Bondi Beach. We sold that property in Lamrock Avenue that Stephanie Farah sold for $2,502,000. That was 100 over the reserve. Yep. All the way down to Little Bay, where Steve Osling has continued to dominate that Little Bay Prince Henry market with some exceptional sales. And before we finish off, what about the sale that you made for $3.3 million down at
Ewing Avenue, number 14? Yeah, very good result there, record price.
Record price. So properties in Little Bay transacting for $3.3 million. Right across the eastern suburbs, the market's strong. If you are looking to get in, there is still time to buy property before Christmas. Otherwise, we'd like to extend our wishes to all of our viewers out there to have a safe Christmas, look after your family, look forward to seeing you guys in 2021. Adrian, from you?
It's been an honour to serve so many buyers, tenants, sellers and landlords, and we really hope that you have a great Christmas and New Year period.
Thanks, Adrian. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.